If we are not carefully and intentionally making deposits into our spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional folders on our hard drive, we may be feeding the wrong things. We may be feeding the wrong desires, results, the things that we didn't intend to, simply because we're not aware of it. It's the extended remix. For anyone that's listening, and you'll see a link to go listen to the episodes that we're discussing. That's episode 37 through 40, career fitness, rest, mental fitness training, and your hard drive, which I'll now recap your hard drive, episode 40. And my biggest takeaway that I wanted for the audience listening, the last few years I spent a lot of time studying, learning more about how we work as individuals, how our brains work, how we respond to things, what's the best thing for us. I've been on an incredible, healthy lifestyle journey for the last 4 years. And in part of that, a lot of that is mental, right? If you want to get motivated to work out, if you want to get motivated to do certain things, or if you want to be consistent in your habits. I've done so much reading, so much research. And what I came to, the one thing that I wanted people to take away from episode 40, your hard drive, is that dopamine cycle, right? Our reward system, that dopamine cycle, if you can really understand that and tap into that dopamine cycle, it can change your life, because you now know your triggers. You now know how you respond to things. You now know why you crave things, thirsty for things, as I mentioned. And I said in there, when we are doing something pleasurable, our brain releases a large amount of dopamine. A large amount, not small, a large amount. We feel good and we seek more of that feeling. So you can actually engineer your cravings, your thirst, your seeking to get the results that you're looking for in any area of your life. So I know we primarily talk about career, compensation, and things of that nature, but that's why this series was so important to discuss the well-being, because it's hard to get up, to get motivated to move your career along if you're feeling stuck. But that dopamine cycle, if you can reverse engineer it, you can actually get what you want out of it. So when you go shopping, right? When people go shopping, sometimes people will attest to experiencing a rush, a good feeling after they've bought something that they really like, or even just a shopping spree, or going to the grocery store and getting a bunch of stuff maybe that you shouldn't be eating. Or like me, getting that donut that I love so much, right? I get an immediate, when I say immediate rush of dopamine. And so that's what you can get control of and actually use it for your own benefit. If we are not carefully and intentionally making deposits into our spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional folders on our hard drive, we may be feeding the wrong things. We may be feeding the wrong desires, results, the things that we didn't intend to, simply because we're not aware of it. So based upon the dopamine reward system that we all possess, right? So this is innate in all of us. Focus on you and be sure to truly take care of all the areas of your life so that you don't try to artificially fill them, literally and figuratively. You get off track. We don't want you to get off track. So that's what I really wanted people to take away from is, if you have any kind of time to Google dopamine or learn more about this specific thing that happens inside of our brain, it's called the reward system. I encourage you to do more research there and get control of it so that you can use it to your advantage, because it's not going away anytime soon. And I said the one thing that I had to leave out, and I was disappointed about leaving out, is the thing that we all do. Alicia mentioned that over time, right? We all, especially the three of us on here right now with over 40 plus years of experience in corporate America, we have this long story now. So it's really tough to say,
hey, did you set some lofty goals for yourself this year? I mean, really big goals? Well, guess what? You're not alone. Let me tell you what the top 3 areas most of our clients come to us for: promotions, how to get more money, and how do I make a career change. And guess what the commonality is between all 3 asks? How do I do it fast? Don't give up. Keep dreaming big and let the 5-Minute Career Hack team help you get there with the In Transit Workshop. Check out the link and you can sign up today.
so it's really tough to say, hey, my name is Jamila, I do dot, 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 because there's so many experiences. And it ties back to the thing that I had to leave out. And it was simply that don't let your titles become your folders on your hard drive,
Wow.
right?
That's deep.
Don't let your titles
Okay.
become your folders on your hard drive. That's the thing I had to leave out. I couldn't keep going after I did the explanation of around dopamine and around your folders. Just
Well, that's
wasn't enough
another
time.
episode right there.
What's
Those
that?
folders. We got a whole nother episode. We writing it down, folders.
We might
Hard
have.
drive part 2. That's hard drive part 2 right there.
You know what?
Love
I
it.
think we
Love
may have
it.
just birthed hard drive part 2. And because our natural tendency is, I know this especially true for all of my female friends that are mothers, all my male friends that are dads, that title becomes a lot of who you are: mother, father, husband, wife, your titles at work: manager, director, VP, CEO, whatever that founder in our cases at 5 Minute Career Hack. It's important. It's extremely important to know that you are not those titles at the master folder level. So if you're thinking about your computer and you click on a folder, there's a master desktop folder, right? That desktop folder can't be one of those titles. It simply has to be just you, Jamila. That's my master folder. Before I become all of those other things in my life, I'm just Jamila first. And am I investing? Am I making the right deposits in my mental, physical, emotional, financial hard drives? Am I making the right deposits in those folders in order to make sure I consistently am whole? So when it's time to go execute on those titles, I'm able to give at 100% versus a half empty tank. So that's the thing that I had to leave out. I hated to do it, but that's what I had to leave out. Any thoughts on that before we
I want
wrap
to
this
shout.
episode up?
I want to shout like I don't know if you caught the praise break I was having over here as you was talking, but Jay, seriously, I think the mental hard drive was one of the most important episodes. When you think about like all the things that we talk about, like that's the core of us having to really understand what's currently on our hard drive. What do we
Mm.
have to go back and maybe remove? So that's that unlearn, relearn process, right? And then what do you got to put back on there that's going to help you continue to move forward? And the way you broke down that episode, I think it is probably, if you didn't listen to it already, go back and listen to it, because when you think about just what we're trying to accomplish big things in our careers and lives, and all those other pillars of our well-being, what we think we know sometimes about ourselves, what we've learned from others, all that stuff is in the hard drive. And when you have too much on your hard drive and some of it non-pertinent information, what that thing do? Crash. I got a hard drive in my backpack right now that don't work because the thing didn't crash. It has stuff on there that didn't need to be on there anymore. And so the way you broke that down, it resonated with me personally, and I hope it did the same for listeners. But I just wanted to kind of underscore that point, just around like you got to go back and revisit what's on there and be ready to take some stuff off, to put some more, to deposit more things on there that's going to help you sustain life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and I
great.
think remember what came to me. I agree, you had a similar response, because I think even just for the listeners to know, like this is also coaching for us. It's like a free coaching, right? When we hear each other or when we talk. So the same way that Candace is like, oh my gosh, just how it spoke to me, it was the same way. And I think we approach every week listening, right? No matter what our role is in bringing it to life for you all, like we come with that learner's mindset and learner's ear, which is a different, not a critique, but a critique for ourselves and what does God want me to hear in this. And I think for you, like it's been several years that, your point around the folders of like really working on personally who is Alicia and being okay. And it looks different in different seasons with these things that I do, right? Or titles that I have are an expression of that. And it should be working for you, and it should be helping you manifest more of what this journey is for you, right? So filling your name. So I think when you say that, of just like, don't let that overarching be that. And I think sometimes, especially when we coach people, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to return to the workforce, right? I had to take off to take care of my mom. Okay, well, you were still practicing these skills as a daughter, right? Or as a son. Or you took off because you had a life change, right? Like, oh my gosh, I went through a divorce. Okay, well, wait, there was some management, there was some decision quality, right? And if you understand that title, whatever that is that you have to prioritize, you can really understand where it's coming from. So that's what I really heard. And that reset, like, I think that was the part, that was a visual that I had as you were, as I was listening to the episode.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that is
Yeah.
going to be a wrap on this extended remix. But before we leave, we're going to leave you with, each of us are going to leave you with our final 5 words in relationship to our well-being series. And again, that's episode 37 through 40. You can listen to that on all streaming outlets as well as watch it here on YouTube. So our final 5 words, I'll go to Candyce first.
So mine is going to always be in the form of an affirmation, right? So my final 5 words are, I have permission to rest. Repeat that again. I have permission to rest.
I love it. I love it, Alicia.
Love it. Oh my goodness. I gave 10 strategies, right, in the episode. So go back if you haven't looked at it. But as I read back through those to get prepared for this, what I kept hearing was, you are built for this. You're built for this. Stay with me. That's fine.
That's a good one. Y'all giving me goosebumps over here. And I'm going to leave it with, you better live, don't quit. You better live, don't quit. As I always end the podcast, we love you. We thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, press that like button, shoot us a comment, hit us on our DMs, and let us know how you felt about this extended remix of the 5-Minute Career Hack Podcast. And until next time, we'll see you soon.
Be well.
Take care. Love y'all. Be well.
Now, the 5-minute career hack, we call this hacking. Look at you. You just did it. And you don't have to stop here. Take one step every week and ensure that you are pouring into you and getting closer to your career goals. Yep. See that button down there? Hit subscribe, but don't stop there, because you know what they say, sharing is caring. So take 5 and we'll see you next week.